Hello, fantastic humans from across the globe. Shams Nelson here from Fantastic Anatomy, and in this episode, I'm going to be talking about shape in character design and how to use shapes in character design. And this is from a course I've created for myself called Character Design 101. This is the first chapter. So, I'm going to begin with the three basic shapes and so I've done a lot of study, watching a lot of videos and articles or whatever to get as much information about shape and character design as I can, and I'm going to summarize it here for you while I'm doing a little drawing that'll illustrate some of these points. So the first thing is that there's three basic shapes: the square, the circle, and the triangle, and then these have their corresponding three-dimensional shapes: the cube, the sphere, and the pyramid or cone. And so I'm going to be working in 2D here. It's a little simpler and illustrates the same point. But it's good to remember that there are 2D and 3D shapes that you can use to lay the foundation of any one of your drawings. And they can each be used differently. And what I kind of learned was that working with shapes is kind of like sculpting. You don't have a lot of detail, and so it's easy to change something really quickly and to try out different shapes and to add and subtract. Like here, I'm just kind of cutting away from the block shape. Um, which brings me to another point that I learned is that shapes contain forms. So I found that it's a lot easier to draw the shape of something and then fill out what the inside is, like almost draw the contour, um, or the general, the shape and then fill it out, rather than the other way around. For an example of this is in the Wolverine character design um, study that I did. His back is like a perfect, or not perfect, like an oval shape. And if you try to build, I make the point that if you try to build the muscles to fit into that oval shape, it probably won't work that well. But if you draw the oval shape first and then figure out how to get the muscles to fit in there, then you'll be better off. And so each of these three shapes, getting back to the three main shapes, have different characteristics that resonate with us on a deep subconscious level. And so the square is associated with being kind of sturdy and masculine, solid. Um, has the qualities of being almost like reliable. And so when you draw a character with a lot of squares, he should have these qualities. So this guy looks strong and sturdy and reliable. The guy on the left. Um, so I think that does work well. The more circular forms or shaped things made of more circular shapes tend to be a more feminine, soft, cute, non-threatening, and the guy Sycra's Sycra. I don't know why I have so much trouble pronouncing his name, but he has a great YouTube channel and he talks about this and gives a lot of detail about these three shapes and how we think about them. And since I'm on it, the third shape here on the right, the triangle is has more of a sharp. It's sharp, obviously, because it's got points. So that kind of denotes that it's dangerous. That's from my Wolverine character study. I mentioned that too. Sharp things tend to be more dangerous and fast. And well, we'll see if this character has some of those features when we get there, and we'll talk more about it then. But a really big overarching idea to keep in mind is that great designs are born of basic shapes. So if you can learn to think in basic shapes when you're designing before moving into the details, that's gonna serve you well. So yeah, this guy in the circle stuff, he is very non-threatening, much more approachable. He doesn't look as tough as the square guy on the left, and yeah, it probably has a lot to do with the fact that I used a lot of circles in designing him. And what I mean by that is that you see his head shape is rounded, his eye stalks are rounded, his nose is a little round oval, his hair even is not pointed. I kept those edges rounded to continue to convey that. In the pit of his neck, same thing. As a contrast, on the left, all the guy has sharp edges and squares, straight lines. Even his pupils, I squared them out a little bit. Um, so yeah, so that's how I'm using the shape to inform the design. And it's really fun and easy to do. Just make a whole page of characters that are based on squares. Make a whole page based on circles, and just see what you can come up with and how you can push it. And we'll also do 3D and 2D circles or squares, cubes. Um, so yeah, working with shapes is like sculpting, which is great because I'm not the most confident artist at this point, especially when it comes to anatomy. So being able to work in shapes and quickly be like, oh, this arm needs to be moved down, erase, draw another rectangle or cylinder, whatever I'm using. That's great. Now I'm gonna have to probably do another video that kind of talks about that more. Also, after I've experimented more with that, but it's been really helping me get better. And this kind of goes from what I said earlier about good designs are born of basic shapes, but it's always good to go from the general to the specific. So there's a big square shape, or here, let's go to the triangle. I've got a big triangle shape for the head, and then I started filling in a triangle shape for the eye sockets, triangle shape for the nose, triangle shape for the mouth. But going from the larger shapes to the smaller shapes, instead of starting with the eyes and then building around that. I mean, that's sometimes you can do that and it can work and it can be fun, but I think a good rule in if you're trying to design something strategically, like then working from big to small allows you to make changes more easily on the bigger design and get your basic ideas down, and then the details are easily changed. While if you work a lot on details and then add something bigger and you find out the detail doesn't fit, needs to be moved left, right, up, down, a little bit bigger or smaller. If you're working on Photoshop, I guess you can do stuff like that. But on traditional medium, you have to erase it all and start and then redo the details, and that time would have been wasted. Um, so yeah, in conclusion, working with shapes is fun and come up with some fun characters, definitely. And it's just a very huge, important part of character design. So peace out and stay fantastic, everyone. Which one of these three characters was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Aquinas, Lars, or Sigil?